come here to a district which is not overwhelmingly Democratic in order to ask your support in this campaign. As citizens, you have to make a judgment about the candidates, of what we stand for, what our view is of the future. Now, I want to make it very clear that Mr. Nixon and I differ on many issues. He presents his views of what he thinks is best for the country, and I present my views. But I think the biggest difference, and the most significant one, and the one that you should consider most carefully, is our judgment of our present position in the world and what we must do as citizens in order to build our strength. Now, Mr. Nixon has run on a program of saying that our prestige has never been higher. We got the New York Times here. Mr. Nixon, 2 weeks ago, and I'm ready to let this campaign make a judgment on which one of us is informed, which one of us is... He made a statement on our debate that our prestige in the world has never been higher. You may recall that. All right, now this is the New York Times, Tuesday, October 25th, 1960, the front page, and here's what it says. United States survey finds others consider the Soviet Midas. Summer poll shows belief is nearly unanimous among the nations sampled. Lead expected to hold. Some expect gap to widen. And then the story starts, an almost unanimous belief that the Soviet Union is the leading military power was disclosed in a worldwide survey conducted for the United States government during the summer. Reliable sources abroad report. According to these sources, the survey also disclosed unanimity among the free and uncommitted nations of the world that the Soviet Union would maintain and possibly widen its lead over the United States through the next decade. These are the major findings of a report drawn up by the Office for the Research and Analysis on the basis of the results of the survey. The office is part of the United States Information Service. Now, the fact of the matter is that this administration has refused to make these surveys public. I asked Mr. Nixon if he would the other night. They have refused to give these surveys to the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Fulbright, as late as a week ago. And the reason is that they show that this administration and Mr. Nixon have been wholly misinformed about our position in the world. And this goes to your survival. If the people of the world once get the idea that the Russians and the communists represent the strongest power, how many of them will stay with us? How many people in Latin America and Africa and Asia will decide that we represent the wave of the future? This is what this means. Once they come to the conclusion that the Soviet Union is a stronger society than we are, what happens to us as the leaders of the free world? Now, you're citizens of this country. You have to make the judgment on what you want this country to be. You live in this community. Your children go to school here. You are concerned about your survival as a free nation. And what we are now talking about is not popularity. It is the willingness of people to follow us, to work with them, to maintain their freedom, to stay out of the communist bloc, to stay out of communist influence, to support us as the strongest society. That's what this all means. And in the last years, people around the world have come to the conclusion that we are not the strongest power. Now, on that basis, you must make your judgment on November 8th. Thank you.